Hi, I'm Sam Razzo. So let me tell you my real story. You see, I realized I was gay, 7th grade maybe. You know, you're in the locker room, and then you just look at someone, and then you check them out. You're gonna be straight and forward. You look them up and down, and you're like, hey, can I get your digits? But the thing is, I didn't really accept it, and I'm pretty flamboyant. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty obvious. Everyone in my family basically knew, because the thing is, I've been playing with Barbies, and I talk with my hands a lot, and I'm just really feminine, so it wasn't a surprise to my family, because they know me, duh. There's actually a story that my mom tells me, that when I was in the 1st grade, the teachers had a conference about me. I had a speech problem when I was younger, and I would stutter a lot. And I do stutter sometimes, but it's not as bad as it used to be. They talked about my speech problem and how I'm a little bit slower than the rest of y'all. I always knew I was different, because in the 1st grade, and I didn't know this until my mom told me the story again. I guess I wrote a note, and this is the 1st grade, so I'm a little kid, that said I wanted to kill myself, and that I wish that I didn't play with Barbies, and I wish I didn't feel different, basically. And one of the teachers actually told my mom that I might turn out gay because I was very feminine. And I would want to wear dresses, I'd want to play with Barbies, I'd want to, you know, be a fabulous person. I was a fabulous person. Still am, baby. And I was ashamed of playing with Barbies, and I remember hiding it from people and being scared, and just always being scared. And so the teacher told my mom that, and my mom, I have the best, honestly, I have the best mom ever. And honestly, my mom has been, she means everything to me. So she kind of went on a rant about how if I was gay, I was gay, and she was okay with that, and how I do play with Barbies, and how she loved me no matter what. And one of the teachers actually cried. It was a male, so she said that she made them cry. So anyways, I didn't realize I was gay until like 7th grade. I moved to Bel Air, Maryland, and before my 8th grade year started, and I remember on the move that my sister, she came up to me, and you know, everyone knew, they just knew. She came up to me and she said, are you gay? And I freaked out, and I just remember cussing her out. And we were living in a hotel on base because we couldn't find housing yet. And I remember running out, and when you live in a hotel on base, it's really crowded, and it was my whole family, which is a big family, living in a small little apartment thingy. And I just remember being mad, and I was already having a bad day since everyone was in my business. I didn't have my own room, and I was sharing a room with like 2 other people. And plus I have like 5 animals. I had like 5 animals at the time. And, well, I still have a lot of animals. But, so it was just a crowded house. But I remember running, and there was like a forest. It's not a forest, I'm making it dramatic. But a lot of trees. And I just remember running through it and just being crazy and losing it. And I remember telling myself that I would never come out. That I had the mindset that I was gonna grow up and, you know, be with a girl and hide it forever, because I have yeah. I had the mindset that the only way to be successful in life was to be straight. 8th grade and 9th grade, I wasn't very social. I didn't talk a lot. I sing, so that's how I made my friends. I was known to have a pretty good solid pipes here, cause I'm pretty good. So yeah, I didn't talk a lot. I did make friends with my neighbor, and she's so nice. I don't talk to her as much as I used to. We kind of drifted apart, but I still think of her as a good friend. She was really shy too. Well, I don't know if she still is. And we'd ride the bus together, obviously, because she lived next door. And she was in my grade, and I just remember being really quiet and not talking a lot, and feeling really nervous. And I would skip school a lot, and I would say I was too sick or lie or just skip. I skipped a lot, and just because I had anxiety. And whenever I did talk, I have a very feminine voice, so I would try to make it deeper, but it didn't really help. Plus, my balls hadn't dropped yet, so my voice was even higher and more annoying than it is now. So, so I remember people calling me Fruitcase and Fruit, and everyone just called me Fruity. And I remember the first time someone called me Fruit, I knew what it meant, but I knew what it meant, even though I never heard the term, but I acted like I didn't. The guy was like, "You don't know what fruit means?" And he explained it to me and made me feel dumb. I just remember being called gay a lot, and people talking about me. And I had this really close friend, his name's Kyle, and I still talk to Kyle. I'm still really good friends with him. I remember that he would defend me all the time. Like, me and him had so much fun freshman year. And I just remember Kyle would always defend me and say, "My brother is not gay." And Kyle was this black guy, and I was living in Bel Air, so he was like the only black person. It was mainly white people, so everyone referred to him as Black Kyle, because he was the only black Kyle. And he would always stick up for me and say, he is not gay, he likes girls. And I remember he got me to go out with a girl for a day, but I dumped her because it was awkward and I didn't like her. And we had fun. A lot of days I would eat lunch alone, or I would go to the library. And it was kind of lonely, but you know, everyone has to pay their dues, I guess. And I was really depressed. And I just remember coming home every day, and I had the same old little ritual. I had the same old little schedule. I would go to school or skip, come home, and the thing that helped me a lot was Ellen. And I would eat my hot Cheetos with my sandwich that my mom made, and watch Ellen with my dog. And she was my only friend. I would get called gay a lot, and I remember coming home one day and crying about it, and I was getting, people were throwing like papers at me and stuff on the bus, and I got, my bus stop was the last bus stop, but I decided I didn't want to deal with those losers, and they were seniors, so what a bunch of losers. And I got off the bus and I walked home. My little brother asked if he could use my laptop. And so yeah, I let him because I didn't think of anything of it. Then I went downstairs, got my sandwich, and watched Ellen like I usually do. But then I realized, you know, it's human nature, guys. You guys, stop being so immature. God. Stop being so immature. There was porn on my computer, and I'm downstairs watching Ellen, and I remember, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I ran upstairs, and he just has his face. He just had it. He just looked at me, and he was sitting down, and he was on the laptop, and I was like, hey, you know, awkward, hey, and he looked at me and he said, Sam, it's okay. And he was like, Sam, it's okay, we know. And I was hugging, and I remember saying, oh, I'm bisexual. I was just looking at it so I could choose. And he knew. My little brother's really intelligent, by the way. He's really, really smart. He's an old soul. Like, if you meet us, you would think I was the little brother from my personality, because he's just so cool. And when we were growing up, I would want to hang out with him. I would beg him. I was breaking down because I felt like my world was ending. And when you come out, you feel like your world is crashing. And I remember just my heart breaking, and like it literally felt like things were crumbling and falling down, and I was just breaking. So I like literally fell to the ground. My mom took me to her room, and I was in the bed, and I said, I can't tell you what's wrong. And then I finally said it, and I told her, and she said that she knew all along. And then she told me that it's okay, and I knew I knew she'd be accepting, because we used to watch Chelsea Lately together, and it's a good show, and they have a lot of gay panel people on the show, and whenever they talked about gay topics, she'd always show her support for gay marriage and gay topics, but she would do it so obviously, and my dad would be right there, and it was really so awkward. I love her for it, but it was embarrassing because we all knew she was referencing me, but. But growing up, my family has been very supportive. They let me play with Barbies. Well, they took them away a couple times, but they didn't want me to get bullied. So they were always looking in my bed. They were always looking out for me. I didn't tell anyone at school because the location, it was a lot of rich people, and I still have a lot of good friends in Maryland, but I didn't feel comfortable in that school, and there was one out guy, and I just saw how he was treated and how he was bullied, and I didn't want to go through that. So I went through my freshman year still in the closet, not talking very much because I didn't want to give it away, even though it was obvious. I did make some really good friends. I was getting popular towards the end of the year, and then I found out I was going to move to Washington, and I had lived in Washington before I lived in Maryland, so I was getting stationed back to where I went to middle school. And so part of me was really excited to go to Washington because I'd be reunited with my middle school friends, but part of me was sad because I was getting established, I was getting known in Bel Air, and I was talking more. And I had a group of friends, and we had an amazing summer of just hanging out and having fun, and I was finally having fun. And then I moved to Washington, and I met up with all my middle school friends. It was like I never left, and I was crazy. And my personality, I think, developed more. My humor, still very awkward, but at least I'm confident now. But in class, I was just really, really quiet, really extremely awkward, and I'm awkward in class. If you see me in class, I'm awk. But so if you think this is bad now, so girl. And plus, I was like 100 pounds heavier. You think I'm chubby now, girl? You think I'm chubby now? Just kidding. But for real. But the first friend I told was my friend Chanel, who is my best friend in the whole wide world. She is a weirdo, and she is basically the same person as me, except she is a black female. And way more scarier and intimidating. So she's the intimidating, scary version of me. And she has a gay uncle. She always talked about him, so I knew she'd be accepting. And I actually remember the day I came out because it was my birthday, and I had hanged out with all my friends, and then it was just us two, and we were in Safeway, and I wanted to tell someone so bad, and I think this is when I came, around the end of sophomore year, I came to terms that I was gay, and that was okay, and just because my mom instilled that in me, and I remember walking with her in Safeway, and it was like midnight, and I said, "Chanel, can I tell you something?" And she was like, "Yeah, what?" And you know, we always joked around with each other, so I said, "I'm gay," and she was like, "Okay," and like she said, "I had no clue, but okay, that's cool," and she was cool with it. Her reaction kind of got a spark in me, and I ended up telling more people. I told my sister, I told more friends. So I spent that summer and the beginning of junior year coming out to my friends. And my big come out was, it was winter break, and I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna be me, and if you don't like it, who cares? I was tired of hiding it. I was tired of lying and saying she's cute and not being able to talk as flamboyant as I want because I'm scared that someone might think I'm gay. I was tired of it, and there comes a point where you're just tired and you just have that urge, and I remember it being a big urge that you just want to tell them. And all my close friends knew. I came out to them. No one was mad. I did have one friend who, very religious, and she wasn't okay with it until later. That took a while. It was kind of a rocky road with her, but we're good now, so that's all that matters. So I decided to post on Facebook that I was gay, but before I could post on Facebook, I wanted I wanted my dad to know. So I went to his room, and I was so scared, and I told my mom, and she said, "Just do it." And I told him, and he was like, "Oh, I knew." And he was like, "I love you, Sam," and I walked out, and it was weird. And so then I posted on Facebook, and I got a whole bunch of likes, and this was the day before I went back to school, so I knew that the next morning I'd be going back to school. Not the brightest bulb. Awkward. I had nothing but positive things, and I got so much love on Facebook, and I'm very lucky that I went to such a tolerant and diverse school. Lakes High School. Lakes. Because I live in such a diverse area where it's just so diverse and tolerant. I love where I live. After that, I went kind of gay crazy. I dyed my hair crazy colors like every week, and I got nipple piercings, and I'm just kidding. And but I dyed my hair crazy. I would wear flamboyant clothes. I had a shirt that said, "Does this shirt make me look gay?" And I just went crazy that year. I had fun. I went to gay pride for the first time. I went to gay prom. I joined a gay community thing in Tacoma called Oasis. Yes, I didn't go that much, but it was fun. I got really involved, and I had a lot of fun. Before that, I had really bad grades, and I was really fat, like really fat, and after coming out the summer before senior year, I just felt so happy and good, and it was honestly amazing, and it gave me so much motivation. So that summer I lost like 50 pounds, and then I lost 50 pounds before going to school. I was determined to get good grades because I didn't have enough credits because I failed so much classes, and I was skipping a lot, and I was being really stupid. And from the 3 years I went there, you're supposed to collect a binder of information, and you're supposed to, you know, every other Wednesday is a half day, and they would have us work on our binders. It was our portfolio for when we graduate. That had to be done, and literally people's binders were like stack high, and I literally did nothing. I had nothing in my binder because I was stupid. So senior year, I had to be crazy and get that binder, and it was the first time I got A's in classes, and I passed all my classes, and I was an A and B student, and I was happy. So senior year, I was me. I showed my personality. People liked me. I met a guy, and it was confusing, and it was a weird thing, but I liked him, and I had a weird. I got to experience like the love thing in high school, which I never thought I would experience. And even though it didn't work out in my best interest, I still got that experience, and it made me stronger, and it made me happy that I got to go through that. I got to star in school plays. I did a talent show. I was nominated prom king. I didn't win, of course, but but I was nominated. That's cool. And I had a really good senior year, and I honestly believe that it's from being open and happy with myself and loving myself. I'm very lucky that everybody was so accepting, and I'm lucky that I have amazing friends that didn't see me differently when I came out. They knew I was a weirdo, and they were weirdos, and us weirdos gotta stick together. So my advice is find the other weirdos out there, because they're out there. You just gotta find them, and there's people that care and love you and support you. And I can't stress this enough, that once you come out, it gets so much better, and it gets amazing, and it might not be as easy as it was for me. So you gotta do it at your own pace, because I knew I was in a safe environment. I knew that people would be tolerant. For you, you gotta think about when is the best time for you, and are you ready? Because I was ready. I'm really happy with the way I did it. But after coming out, I can honestly say it gets better. And I'm in college now. I've met 2 guys. I had a weird fling going on. Even though it didn't last that long, I still had something. I'm out there. I don't have to hide my sexuality or be ashamed. If I want to wear a pink shirt and some red pants, I'm gonna put on that pink shirt and red pants and be flamboyant and crazy, because that's me. I have a loud personality inside, even though it doesn't go off. I don't know how to explain. I'm awkward. I'm really awkward. At least I'm confident now enough to know that I overcame coming out. I could do anything pretty much. Basically, I lost over 100 pounds after coming out because I was happy and living. So my advice is take your time. Tell the people that you know are going to support you first, so that you build a support group, and be yourself. If you guys want to know more about me, then just let me know. So I just want you to know that it does get better. I know I'm a dorky 18-year-old, but from being in college just for 1 semester only, it does get better, and people are more tolerant. And each year, as time goes by, people are becoming more tolerant and accepting. And even if you feel alone, people love you and support you. And I love you and I support you. And you can always talk to me. Being gay is not something that you should be ashamed of. But thank you for listening to my long, boring story. I know my story is not that exciting, but hey, thought I'd add it to the YouTube list. Thanks for watching, and subscribe. Bye.